Feel your chest right now. The ancient Spartans believed there was a fire burning there. Thumos, they called it. Spirited force. Warrior's blood. The inner flame that makes certain people impossible to ignore and others completely invisible. When Thumos burns strong, you walk into rooms and conversations stop. Not from fear, from magnetic presence. Opportunities find you. Respect comes without asking. Challenges feel exciting instead of terrifying. But when your Thumos dies, and it's dying in you right now, you become a ghost. Working hard, but feeling nothing. Trying everything, but getting nowhere. Wondering why people who seem less talented somehow command more respect, attract more success, live with more fire than you could ever remember feeling. Here's what the Spartans knew that modern society forgot. Thumos isn't personality. It's not genetics. It's a force you either feed or starve with every single choice. And 3 specific patterns extinguish it completely. In the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly what's killing your inner fire and the brutal ancient protocol to reignite it before it's too late. Subscribe now, leave a like, and comment below. When did you last feel truly alive?
Look at someone who commands respect effortlessly, not through aggression or loudness, through presence. The ancient Greeks had a word for what you're seeing: humos, the spirited force, the fire in the chest, the warrior's blood that makes some people magnetic while others fade into backgrounds despite desperate effort. Plato called it the seat of courage, passion, and the drive to fight for what matters. The Spartans built an entire civilization around cultivating it, and neuroscience is now proving they were right, that certain behavioral patterns create what appears to be unshakable confidence by fundamentally changing your nervous system's response to challenge and threat. But here's what nobody tells you. Your humos is dying. Right now, today, through 3 invisible patterns so normalized in modern life that you don't even notice the suffocation until you wake up one day completely hollow, wondering when you stopped feeling fire and started feeling nothing. Before I show you where your inner fire is leaking, you need to hear about Leontes, a warrior who had more humos than anyone in his generation until 3 mistakes extinguished it completely and taught him the devastating truth about how personal power actually works. Sparta, 420 BCE. Leontes wasn't born in Sparta, but he trained there. His father, a wealthy Athenian merchant, had sent him to the agoge at age 7, the brutal Spartan training system that turned boys into warriors through 13 years of controlled suffering. Most foreign boys broke within months. Leontes thrived. By 18, he'd earned something almost impossible for a non-Spartan: respect from Spartan warriors themselves. His humos burned visibly. When he entered the training grounds, energy shifted. Younger warriors stood straighter. Even the hardened instructors acknowledged him with slight nods that meant everything in Spartan culture. One trainer told him, "You have fire that most men are born without and will never find. Guard it, because the world specializes in extinguishing it." Leontes didn't understand. He thought humos was permanent, something you either had or didn't. He was about to learn how wrong he was. At 25, Leontes returned to Athens as a military instructor. His reputation preceded him. Within a year, he commanded the personal guard of a wealthy politician. His humos was legendary. Soldiers would volunteer for the hardest assignments just to serve under him. When he walked through Athens, merchants stood from their stalls. Citizens made space, not from fear, but from instinctive recognition of power. He radiated humos like heat from flame. Then he made his first mistake. A colleague, a man named Theron, who'd bought his position through family wealth rather than earning it through competence, began undermining him publicly. Small disrespects at first, interrupting him during briefings, dismissing his tactical suggestions with condescending smiles, contradicting his orders to soldiers when Leontes wasn't present. He noticed, felt the disrespect like physical blows, but he told himself, I'm above this. Real strength doesn't respond to petty challenges. Let him talk. My reputation speaks for itself. He thought he was being mature, controlled, above the drama. He was actually committing the first act that would extinguish his Thumos completely.
Within 3 months, something shifted. Soldiers who once hung on his every word now questioned his judgment. The respect that used to be automatic became conditional. His presence, once magnetic, started feeling ordinary. He couldn't understand it. Same skills, same knowledge, same experience. But the fire was dimming. Then came the second mistake. The politician he served asked him to lead an expedition into hostile territory. Dangerous, but exactly the kind of challenge that had always made Leontes feel most alive. But Leontes had grown comfortable. Good pay, respected position, safe routine. He'd started enjoying ease. So he declined, recommended a younger, hungrier commander instead. I've earned some rest, he told himself. I've proven myself enough. Let others take the dangerous assignments now. He thought he was being wise, strategic, preserving himself. He was actually suffocating his Thumos with his own hands. The younger commander took the assignment and returned victorious. His reputation soared. Meanwhile, Leontes stayed safe, comfortable, and increasingly invisible. His fire dimmed further. The magnetic presence faded. He started feeling hollow, empty. Like something vital was slowly dying inside him. Then came the third and final mistake, the one that killed his Thumos completely. As his presence weakened, a different crowd started gathering around him. Men without fire of their own, complainers, blamers, people who talked endlessly about what they would do if only circumstances were different. At first, Leontes avoided them, felt drained after every interaction. But as his own Thumos weakened, their company felt less uncomfortable. Misery loves misery. Emptiness attracts emptiness. He started spending more time with them, less time with the warriors and builders who used to elevate him. He told himself he was being compassionate, understanding, loyal to struggling friends. He was actually surrounding himself with people who were extinguishing the last embers of his Thumos. Within a year, Leontes was unrecognizable. Same face, same body, but the fire was gone. When he entered rooms, nobody noticed. His opinions carried no weight. His presence generated no energy. He'd become invisible, a ghost, walking through his own life, wondering how someone who once commanded such respect could become so forgettable. One night, desperate and broken, he traveled back to Sparta seeking answers. He found his old trainer, now elderly, but still radiating Thumos like forge heat. "I've lost it," Leontes told him. "The fire, the presence, everything you taught me, it's gone." The trainer studied him with hard eyes. "You didn't lose it, Leontes. You extinguished it. 3 flames kill Thumos. You lit all 3. The old Spartan made Leontes sit for 3 days, teaching him what his success had prevented him from understanding, the 3 patterns that suffocate Thumos completely. "Listen carefully," the trainer said. "Most men kill their inner fire without knowing it. Then they wonder why life feels empty, why respect disappears, why nothing excites them anymore. But they never see what's suffocating them." First flame, accepting dishonor without response. When Theron disrespected you publicly and you did nothing, you told your Thumos, "My dignity doesn't matter. I'm not worth defending," the trainer explained. "But I was being mature," Leontes protested. mature. The trainer's voice hardened. You were being bed. Thumos is the part of you that fights for honor. When you tolerate disrespect, when someone challenges your worth and you stay silent, you starve your spirited force. The Spartans knew this. Respond to every dishonor immediately, not with rage, with boundaries, not with violence, with consequences. A man who tolerates disrespect is a man without Thumos, and a man without Thumos is a man without presence. Leontes felt the truth like a blade. Every time he'd let Theron undermine him, he'd sent his Thumos a message. You're weak. Not worth defending. Your fire doesn't matter. And his Thumos listened and dimmed and began dying.
Second flame, choosing comfort over challenge. When you declined that expedition, you chose safety over growth, the trainer continued. And Thumos dies in safety. But I'd already proven myself, Leontes said. Proven yourself? The old warrior laughed bitterly. Thumos doesn't care about your resume. It feeds on challenge, difficulty, voluntary hardship. The moment you prioritize comfort, your spirited force begins suffocating. This is why Spartan training never stopped. Even at 60, warriors sought challenge. Because they understood, comfort is the assassin of Thumos. The trainer leaned forward. Every time you choose the easier path when the harder one calls to you, every time you avoid challenge you're capable of facing, every time you pick comfort over growth, you extinguish your inner fire. Not slowly, immediately. Thumos recognizes cowardice in real time, and it abandons you for it. Leontes understood with devastating clarity. The moment he declined that expedition, chosen safety over the dangerous mission that would have challenged him, his Thumos had started dying. Not as punishment, as natural consequence. Fire dies without fuel. Thumos dies without challenge. Third flame, surrounding yourself with the weak. The final flame is the most insidious, the trainer said, because it feels like compassion. You started spending time with men who had no fire, and their emptiness drained yours like water seeking level ground. They needed support, Leontes argued. They needed Thumos, the trainer countered, and they drained yours trying to fill their void. Listen carefully. You cannot maintain strong Thumos while surrounding yourself with the weak, the complainers, the blamers, those who avoid challenge and make excuses. Their energy is extractive. They don't mean to drain you. They're empty and you're full, and nature fills vacuums. He drew a line in the dirt. The Spartans only socialized with other Spartans. Not cruelty, survival. They knew that Thumos spreads through proximity. Surround yourself with fire, and yours grows stronger. Surround yourself with ashes, and yours dies. You chose ashes, and your fire went out. Leontes sat in silence, destroyed by recognition. He hadn't lost his Thumos to bad luck, or aging, or circumstances. He'd extinguished it himself through 3 patterns. Tolerating disrespect without response, choosing comfort over challenge, and surrounding himself with people who had no fire of their own. Can it be reignited? He asked. The trainer smiled grimly. Thumos is the only power that can be rebuilt from nothing, but the protocol is brutal. Most men prefer to live hollow rather than do what's required. The old Spartan taught Leontes the ancient reignition protocol, the system Spartans used to rebuild extinguished Thumos. You'll do this exactly. No negotiation, no modification. The moment you compromise, you've already failed. Step 1, the honor reclamation. For 30 days, you respond to every single disrespect immediately. Not with violence, with clear, unavoidable consequences. Someone interrupts you,
you stop them publicly and make them wait. Someone dismisses your word, you confront them directly, no delay. Someone violates your boundary, they're removed from your life permanently, no second chances. This isn't aggression, it's Thumos reclamation. You're teaching your spirited force that you're worth defending again.
Step 2. The challenge immersion. Second, you seek the hardest challenge available to you and face it immediately. Not someday, this week. Whatever scares you most, whatever you've been avoiding, whatever requires the version of you that you've been too comfortable to become, you do it. Thumos feeds on voluntary hardship. Starve it with comfort, and it dies. Feed it with chosen difficulty, and it roars back to life. Step 3. The circle purge. Third, you sever contact with every person who drains your fire. Friends who complain constantly? Gone. Associates who avoid challenge and make excuses? Removed. Anyone whose presence leaves you feeling less alive? Eliminated from your life completely. This isn't cruelty, it's survival. You can't rebuild Thumos while bleeding it through toxic proximity. Step 4. The warrior exposure. Finally, you spend deliberate time with people who radiate Thumos, warriors, builders, those who face challenges and win, those who keep their word and defend their honor. Their fire will reignite yours through proximity. Thumos spreads like flame, from torch to torch, but you must get close to fire to catch it. Leontes followed the protocol exactly, 30 days of honor reclamation. The first time someone disrespected him, he confronted them immediately, calmly, but unmovably. It felt uncomfortable, aggressive, but something shifted. His chest felt warmer. For challenge immersion, he volunteered for the most dangerous assignment available, a diplomatic mission into hostile territory that everyone else had declined. Terror filled him, but beneath the fear, something else stirred. Excitement, aliveness, his Thumos beginning to wake. He purged his circle ruthlessly. Old friends who drained his energy, contact ended. Associates who complained constantly, removed from his life. It felt brutal, lonely, but the constant exhaustion lifted. Space opened, and he filled it with warriors, men who radiated Thumos, who faced challenges daily, whose presence made him feel more alive just being near them. Around day 40, something extraordinary happened. He was in a military briefing when a senior officer dismissed his tactical suggestion with a condescending wave. Old Leontes would have stayed silent. Reignited Leontes stopped the meeting. My strategy deserves consideration or clear rebuttal, not dismissal. Which are you offering? The room went silent. The officer, surprised by the unmovable boundary, actually apologized and asked Leontes to explain further. Something shifted in that moment. Leontes felt it. Heat in his chest, aliveness in his blood, his Thumos returning. By day 90, Leontes had transformed. Not his appearance, his presence. When he entered rooms, conversation shifted. His words carried weight again. Challenges excited him instead of draining him. People sought his company because being near him felt like standing close to fire on a cold night. His Thumos had reignited, stronger than before because he'd rebuilt it consciously, deliberately, through the ancient protocol. Within 2 years, his reputation had not only recovered but exceeded his previous peak. He commanded armies, influenced policy, and lived with constant fire in his chest. But more importantly, he never let his Thumos die again. He knew the 3 flames that extinguish it: tolerating disrespect, choosing comfort, surrounding yourself with the weak. And he knew the protocol to keep it burning. Defend your honor immediately. Seek challenge constantly. Guard your circle ruthlessly.
The Spartans understood something that modern society has forgotten. Thumos, your inner fire, your spirited force, determines everything. Not your skills, not your knowledge, your fire. When it burns strong, the world opens. When it dies, even your best efforts feel worthless. You feel it right now, don't you? That hollowness where fire used to be? That sense that you're going through the motions but feeling nothing? That's not depression. That's extinguished Thumos. And now you know exactly what killed it, and exactly how to reignite it. The question is, will you?